Guys, let's get into this oil change. I've got Motorcraft SAE 10w-30 motor oil with my FL-2051S oil filter. Then I have a 1/2 inch with a 16 mil. And I've got two 10-quart buckets because this is a 13-quart capacity 6.7 motor. And I've got to be ninja fast to change out the buckets. If you're wondering where your dipstick is at, these two yellow tabs, this one here is your trans fluid, this one here is your oil, and then your oil cap to fill the oil back up is right here. So basically everything is going to be on the driver's side. Oil dipstick, trans dipstick, oil filler cap. Okay, now I'm under the middle of the truck. You got your front axle here with your drive shaft on the driver's side. So if you look over here, here's your oil pan, and right here is your 16mm bolt, and beside that is your oil filter. Okay, majority of the time this drain bolt is a 16 mil, but mine is a 18. Guys, if you're doing your oil change on the ground like me, you're gonna get oil all over yourself because this sucker shoots out real quick. And I'm gonna give it some time to drain out. I think it's only been about 5 minutes, so I'll probably go about 15 minutes more of draining, maybe longer, and then I'll tackle the oil filter. And also, if you want your oil to drain out any faster than what it already does, open up the fill cap before you take the drain bolt. And it's best to make sure that you can open this up, because if you let all your oil run out and you can't fill it back up, yeah, you got a problem. You're gonna mess this sucker up trying to get some vice grips to rip her off. I don't know if y'all saw in the video, but when I was taking my drain plug off, the force of the oil was so fast that it just dumped my drain plug right into my bucket. So this is my second bucket, and I believe I'm almost or at 4 quarts. So I had a little bit more oil than what I should have in here. That's why I wanted to go ahead and change it out, because I haven't had this truck but too long. So whoever did that oil change put too much oil in there. And hopefully this is the right or the correct drain plug. If anybody knows, let me know. This is an 18mm. Okay, for my oil filter, all I did was knock a screwdriver through the bottom. Let that big boy drain out, because if you go ahead and get your oil filter wrench and start taking it off, I mean, she just spores out. So, and for anybody that thinks that they can't hit a hole in the oil filter, it's really easy. It only takes, I mean, if you're strong enough, you can just do it with one hit. It doesn't take a lot, and it would take longer, you know, to let it drain off, you could just go ahead and just sling her off, but it's gonna be messy. So all right, all I'm doing now is taking my filter wrench, lefty loosey, oh yeah, she's still got some draining to do. Let her sit like that for a minute. All right, it's been about a minute or two, so see if I can get this filter off. All right, set it to the side. Take the oil filter off. Check and see if the gasket's stuck, because you don't want to double gasket and cause a leak when you put the new oil filter back in. Okay, since this is a vertical oil filter, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-fill her up so I don't dry start. And I'm gonna use 2 hands for this, so I ain't gonna be able to record it. Okay, now that you got the filter filled back up with fresh oil, just take some of that fresh oil and run around this gasket, and then you're ready to put her back in. Just take your time with this, no rush. Then you can take your filter wrench if you want to and just turn it a quarter, and then you should be good. All I did with mine was just take a microfiber rag, wrap both hands around the filter, and just turn until I couldn't turn no more. All right, now you got your new oil filter in. Now you can put your drain plug back in. All I'm gonna do with mine is just snug her up, and then when I put the new oil in, check for leaks. All right, I do apologize for doing this at night, but with daylight savings and everything going on, this is the time of me having to do it. But now that you got your drain plug back in and your oil filter, now it's time to put the new oil into the engine. So you take your filler cap off, you're gonna need a funnel, your oil, and then start pouring her in there. I believe these containers are around 5 quarts. So if you use 2 of them, that should be around 10 quarts. So when you get to your 3rd container, you can pour about half in there and then check your dipstick, or you can pour half and turn the truck on, let it sit for about a minute, then turn it off, then check your dipstick. Okay, after 2 containers, check the dipstick, and I'm starting to show a little bit of oil at the very bottom, so I'm gonna put probably about a half of this in there, and then I'm gonna check it again. Just check the dipstick, and I'm about half level, so I'm just gonna put just a little bit more in there. Here's your levels on your dipstick. you want to be where all those X's are. You don't want to be lower than the X's or past the X's. Now that you got your oil level squared away, take your filler cap, snug her back on, and then get underneath the truck and check for leaks once again. All right, topped off the oil. Now I'm going to start her up. Go under the truck and check for leaks. All right, now that you got all those steps complete, you need to let your truck sit for about an hour of, zero running time. Go out there, pop your hood, check your dipstick, look at the level. If it's too low, you're gonna have to add oil. If it's too high, you're gonna have to go back under the truck, loosen the drain plug, and let some oil out, and then snug it back up and check it. It's a back and forth kind of thing. But appreciate you stopping by my channel. If you have any questions or any reviews, leave a comment. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.